My daughter shares memes, TikTok videos, and explains in great detail inside jokes with me, but avoids serious conversations. Is that still connection, or should I be worried? First, the simple answer. That is absolutely connection. That teen is letting you into their world. They're showing you things they think are funny, things they share with their friends, inside jokes they have with their friends. They're showing you a bit about the makeup of your social world. Now, you say they avoid serious conversations. All we really need to do is say to a kid, look, for one reason or another, I know you're, you know, giving a great effort in school. You're making a great effort in school. I know that it sounds like you've got lots of jokes that you share with your friends. But if there's ever anything more serious or more distressing for you, I just want you to know I'm here. You're just letting them know that you're open to those conversations if they ever need to. Teens who feel like they have an open line of communication to their parents, teens who feel like their parents are there to listen, teens who feel like their parents are there to validate what matters to them in their world are more likely to come to you in serious situations. You may be lucky enough that your teen doesn't have too many serious conversations they need to have. Maybe they feel equipped for some of the challenges of adolescence. Maybe they feel like they're kind of navigating it fairly well and that, they're connecting with their friends and feel pretty good about, all the different spheres of teenage life. Uh, there you can count yourself lucky. But all we're doing is continuing to say, look, I'm here for those serious things. And then this relates to some of the Q&A episodes for other teenage episodes following from our conversations with Dr. Lisa Damore or Dr. Janine Dominguez. Um, when we are talking to teens, it can also really help to just list off some of those serious topics and even to list off your messaging around them. So to say like, look, I know there's a teenager, you're probably navigating some real ups and downs with your friends, or maybe you're navigating having your first boyfriend or girlfriend or partner, or some romantic connection. Maybe you're trying to make decisions about how to act at parties because you're feeling some kind of pressure because when you do go to social events with your friends, drugs or alcohol might be present. And then you want to reiterate just kind of your messaging on those things. And this goes back to our sex, consent, and safety episode with Dr. Angela Glimp, where we talk about, talking to kids about our family's values and thoughts about sex and how long to delay it and why perhaps, not to mention like how much we want kids to be safe if they do engage in sexual activity and how much we want to emphasize the role of consent within any romantic relationship and how much you want to check in with your partner and be communicating about these types of things. If we're talking about substances and drug abuse, we might say to a kid, look, just hear me out. I don't want you to use drugs and alcohol. You've got a developing brain. I don't really want that to be something that you're involved with because I know it can hurt your brain at this age. At the same time, I'm a realist. You're going to be in situations where they're there. And I want to remind you the punishment will always be less if you call me when you get into trouble. And it's reiterating those talking points to make sure that they know you know that there are serious topics out there. And if they do get into trouble, they might be afraid that there are consequences, but at the end of the day, you're always here to talk about it, and the consequences will always be less if they do come to talk to you about those serious things than if you say find out about them yourselves and then feel like you've got to, give some sort of consequence because your teenager really was making a less helpful decision or even putting themselves at risk. So, tie that all up in a bow. Yes, it is still a connection. For many parents, we actually try to get parents to even just express interest in these things for their kids because we know it's so much more predictive of kids actually approaching them when there are serious conversations to be had. So value that, value the fact that your kid is trying to share the world with you and, keep having those conversations.